In this video, I will be talking about more on the design of experiments, but the title you are seeing, it will be optimization. But before this design of experiments, I have to introduce the word called as optimization. See, because the title of this playlist is going to be talk about this optimization techniques. So what is optimization? What are its silent features, and then what are the various ways of optimization, and then I will enter into the design of experiments. So act of achieving the best possible result. So whatever it may be. So suppose if I need to purchase a car, my objective is to minimize the cost of that particular car, as well as I need to get maximum quality of that particular car under various circumstances also. See, circumstances means, suppose if I am trying to take an automobile in a metal road, so the durability of the tires should be high. So now I will try to take a constraint in such a way that the tires of that automobile should have more durability. So this act of achieving the best possible result under various circumstances is called as an optimization. And here it may be a maximize or minimize. Sometimes it will be minimizing, sometimes it will be maximizing. For example, if you take the cost criteria in most of the cases we will try to go for minimization. Okay, suppose I need to get more amount of profits means what? I need to go for maximization. So the goal will be whether it may be a minimize or whether it will be a maximize. And here this objective is going to be expressed in terms of some design variables. So whether it may be the case of input variables only majorly. So this input variables talks about in the previous example automobile, I am discussing about the tires. Sometimes I will discuss about the engine capacity. Sometimes I will discuss about the interiors of that particular automobile. So that depends upon various kinds of design variables. And here the simple definition for this optimization is finding the conditions that give maximum or the minimum value of any function. For example, if I need to say what is a function, so function can be expressed in terms of, suppose my objective is to purchase an automobile which is having a best tires for the dirty roads and which is having a good interiors for a pleasant ambience. So now with these two design variables, I will try to draw a function like maximizing the capacity of the tires as well as maximizing the interiors ambience. So that will become my function. So this function, whether I have to go for maximization or whether I have to go for minimization. And what are the applications? So applications of the optimization is used in almost every field, not even left over any field. Every field optimization is applied. Some of the things I am going to explain in terms of categories, like if in the case of aircraft. So aircraft, basically we will talk about weight optimization because it is flying in the sky. So it should have less weight. So whatever the material they are using there, so that material weight should be as low as possible. Process optimization. So the time taken for manufacturing one particular product has to get reduced. For example, in the case of a shipbuilding. So shipbuilding, what happens means it takes large amount of time to manufacture a ship, or in the case of defense equipments, it takes large amount of time to manufacture that kind of a defense equipment. So now the process has to be reduced and it should be efficient to make it as an optimization. So process optimization. Cost optimization. So if a product is releasing into the market, basically the cost of that particular product will be high. So the customers also, they are not interested or they don't show some interest to purchase these particular products. So now I have to go for cost optimization. Resources optimization, like I am trying to utilize various kinds of materials or various kinds of processes or various kinds of raw materials which from the various kinds of forest resources, natural resources. So these resources has to minimize, or depending upon the situation it can be maximized also, but most of the cases we will try to go for minimize. For example, you can see nesting of various kinds of sheet metal operations. So why they are doing the nesting? So nesting will tries to reduce the amount of material. So that is the thing, resource optimization. And these are all comes under the category of a tree called as operation research. So this operation research optimization means operations research only. So in any industries or any manufacturing plant or any process layout or any supply chain system, it is concerned with the application of the scientific methods and decision making. So weight optimization is a decision making, process optimization is a decision making, cost optimization is a decision making, resources also decision making. This decision making is going to be lead to get the maximum benefit or maximum profit or better allocation of resources. Like that we can classify in various cases. So this the mathematics behind this one is going to be termed as operation research. So let me take what are the methods of operations research. So there are typically three methods of operations research. Among them, one is mathematical programming techniques, and the second is stochastic process techniques, and the third one is statistical methods. So if you try to concentrate on mathematical programming techniques, there are nonlinear programming, geometric programming, linear programming, dynamic programming, multi-objective programming also. Sometimes we will get critical path method. Like that we are having multiple number of programming techniques. By we will try to apply some kind of an objective function. For that objective function we will try to mention in some constraints and some boundary conditions. We will try to optimize this function. And stochastic process. So the best example for the stochastic process is a queuing theory, or you can go with the statistical decision theory. These two are examples for the stochastic process. The other one is a statistical methods. So statistical methods means it will talk about the statistics. So how this particular part is going to affect the part, like regression analysis, whether it is acceptable or not, clustering analysis, design of experiments. These things get into picture. If I try to draw some more techniques in the optimization methods, it is typically two classification, classicals and meta heuristics. These are all the talking stochastic process and statistical methods are the classical methods. Meta heuristics talks about the trajectory based and population based. So trajectory based, again it's a different synonym. Okay, so population based we are having nature inspired. That is, one nature inspired talks about the evolutionary optimization, the other one is swarm intelligence optimization. So evolutionary optimization comes under the category, these are all again the category of programming only, mathematical programming techniques only. Meta heuristics means mathematical programming only. So evolutionary algorithms like genetic algorithm, immune algorithm, clonal selection, harmony, differential evaluation, these are all comes under the category of evolution of species. Like evolution of species basics, Charles Darwin theory. From that theory they have executed these algorithms. Other category is a swarm intelligence. So swarm intelligence talks about a group of particles. For example, fish flock or birds flock in the sky. So these are ants behavior, ant colony optimization, bees behavior, artificial bee colony optimization, artificial bee algorithm. So bacteria, they are trying to forage at one particular place, bacterial foraging algorithm. There are multiple number of swarm intelligence techniques. I am trying to list out a few from this particular reference. Now our objective is we are trying to concentrate only onto the design of experiments and how we are trying to go for single objective optimization. Exactly. So we will try to touch only design of experiments here. So what is a design of experiment? So in generalized talking, we can say that experiment means normally we will take some input and we will try to mix multiple inputs sometimes and we will get some output. So we will tabulate it as some experimentation I have done and this is the result, that's enough. But design of experiment means we need to have some structural way, how much amount of input we are giving, how many types of input we are giving, and what are the combinations you are doing. So these things comes under the structured technique. And this is a study of situation that involves the response, which is going to be depending upon one or more independent variables. So dependent variable and independent variables. So here most of the cases we will talk about independent variable only. And here complex problems are also arises. For example, if I am having 4 variables, then 4 variables, 4 variables, if I am trying to combine an experiment, the complexity of the experiment will become more complex. So then how to tackle such a case? So the basic definition of the design experiments can be summarized like this: conduct experiment economically, analyze the data and connection between the conclusions. This talks about my design of experiments, and this design of experiments is also going to be termed as it is a body of like I can say knowledgeable techniques. Like this I can classify the design of experiments case. So where it can be applied? It can be applied in agriculture. The initial based it has been applied to agriculture. Some electrical applications also it can be applied. Engineering, sciences, manufacturing, sociology, biology, medicine, so on. Many applications are available. So here, if I am talking about the experiment, so what are the various kinds of experimental strategies available with us? As I have stated in the structure technique example, so here we will discuss about in detail what are the strategies available with me. One among that is one factor at a time. That is, I am going to take one factor at one particular point of time. Suppose in a chemical laboratory, I am going to mix hydrogen and sulfuric acid. Okay, hydrosulfuric acid, like that. So some constant of sulfuric acid I am going to be mixed, and I will try to check how it is going to affect the remaining chemicals. So how I will try to perform means I will take a small quantity of sulfuric acid in equal levels. Equal levels means let's say 2% concentration or 3% concentration, that I will fix it, and I will try to vary the remaining chemicals and I will check it. But here what happened means it takes lot of time, more amount of resources are required, as well as the use of the resources are very inefficient in one factor at a time and several factors one time. So if the same case multiple number of factors are there, so multiple number of factors, immediately I am trying to vary one by one changing. That is several factors at a time. The last one is several factors at same time. So suppose if I am driving a car, I need to check the mileage. What I will do basically, I have to keep constantly at 80 kilometers and the road also should not have any ups and downs. Then only I will get a good mileage. That is one experiment. So several factors at same time I have to concentrate and I have to make that experiment. But if in general if I go to I will go and purchase some automobile, if I try to drive that road, I don't expect that there should not be any traffic. Is it or not? Definitely there will be a traffic. So several factors are at same time also cannot be worked out from sometimes, but the strategies are available there. So we need to develop a statistical experimental strategy. By seeing this previous 3 strategies, it has been found that they required some kind of statistical strategy, experimental strategy, and this statistical experimental strategy talks about interaction effects. So interaction means combination. So first factor, second factor, it has to get combined. So if you take the example, I need to give a tea to you. So tea or coffee. So I need to mix the sugar in such a case that it has to be diluted completely in the milk. So interaction is going to be taken. If it is not diluted, what happens? The milk will be tasteless, the coffee will be tasteless. If it has been diluted, then it will be good taste. So interaction is going to be take place. That kind of strategy has to be done. And main effects, so how the sugar is going to affect that particular coffee. Limited numbers of experiment. See here I have taken very simple example that will not be in the real case of our experimental strategies and all. But limited number of experiments we have to plan. I can take 1 spoon of sugar, or I can take 2 spoons of sugar. I cannot take 10 spoons of sugar and then take it in a single cup and do it. So limited experiments we have to do it. That is also more important. Means maybe half spoon or 1 spoon. That's all. We have to get a conclusion that the taste will be good or not, like that. So vital factors identification. So which whether sugar is going to be influenced or the stirring capacity is going to be influenced to get a good taste of a coffee, or the amount of decoction of a coffee, or the amount of milk which we are using, which is going to influence to get the good taste of a coffee. So these things we need to identify, and better yielding results, that is the taste of that particular drink, whether it may be coffee or tea. So importance of having a strategy. So by seeing these particular experimental strategies, okay, whether it may be interaction, main, limited, vital, and yielding expected results, we need to have some kind of importance in the strategy. Among that, one is completeness. It should be as clear as possible. Yeah, I have completed this one successfully. Like that, we need to have in our mind. Next one is efficiency. To what level it is giving the better results. And the third one is insightness. Whether the proper way of justification is going to be done by each and every set of experiments or not. So completeness, efficiency, and insight talks about my strategy. Next one is, what is the role of experimental design in research? Because we are talking about mechanical experimental research and optimization techniques in mechanical research, we have to know what will be the role of experimental design. So first of all, you think that you have a research question with you. So for that research question, what you require? You require some kind of knowledge. Some knowledge is required. Suppose I am saying that tomorrow I will develop a new material which can able to use it for stents in the heart surgeries. Yes, it is very good. But that research question talks about the prior knowledge of that material which is used for the heart stents. After research question, we have to go for experimental design. Means now you are developing a new material. For that new material, what are the set of experiments you are going to be design? And that design also you require some kind of a prior knowledge. How means I cannot simply go one factor at a time or some factors at a time like that. I need to have some kind of formulation in my mind in such a way that I have to mix iron in this concentration, titanium in this concentration, because most of the cases, in the case of stents, it will be using some kind of titanium alloys also. Sometimes I might be heard about that one. Okay, so definitely iron content will be there. So how much level of iron content should be there? So that talks about my experimental design. After experimental design, we have to get into data collection, the things which are required for the design. Then after data collection, we have to go for analysis, whether the data, whatever the data we have collected, is proper or not. Next, we have to talk about the interpretation. So how these things are going to affect my prior knowledge. Interpretation. So if I have some kind of a prior knowledge, how I can able to interpret. So basically this can be done by thorough literature. Interpretation, whether, okay, I will say that some of the experiment they have conducted some electric discharge machining process. In this electric discharge machining process, by mixing pulse on time and pulse off time, how this is going to be vary, how this is going to be influenced, on which material how it is going to be takes place. These interpretation results should be there in my hand. Next one is the new knowledge. So after interpretation, you will get some new knowledge. So that new knowledge is always connected to your prior knowledge. Prior knowledge means something which is vague. New knowledge means something which is, we can able to define it very clearly. So this is the case where the experimental design in the research has to be done. Next, types of experimental designs. Because when we talk about the data collection, experimental design, interpretation, analysis, multiple number of experimental designs are available in the research. One among them is the factorial designs. Factorial designs is widely used, which is going to identify the important effects in your process. But there is a slight disadvantage in the factorial designs. Factorial means, suppose if I am having 3 factors at 2 levels. So 3 power 2, totally 3 power 2, it is 9. I have to conduct the 9 experiments. That's all, no other alternative. Suppose if I am having 10 factors, I am having 3 levels, 10 power 3. Definitely I have to conduct that set of experiments. there is a limitation here. Next, responsive surface design. So it is talking about combination of the factors that will give the maximum and minimum. So a curved surface will be there. So depending upon that one, whether the choose of experimental design is going to climb the hill or coming down the hill, maximize or minimize the response, whatever the response it may be. Then mixture designs. So mixture design talks about it's an ingredient of various kinds of mixtures, like one factor at one level, another factor at 3 or 4 levels, like that mixtures. Another factor is optimal designs. So optimal design talks about optimals means, but in our first slide we have discussed optimization means we need to get a maximize and minimize, some benefit will be there. So enough information is required, as well as whatever the model which we are trying to analyze, it should have a detailed specification. It should be flexible. It can able to orient at any time. So the factorial designs. In this factorial designs, we are having full factorial designs. Okay, experiment we have, as I have discussed in the previous slide, the same thing. All factors and all levels. I will discuss about what is these factors and levels in the next slides. Fractional factorial. So fractional factorial will talks about a combination of experiments which we have to conduct at certain levels only. It will prescribe whatever. So for each and everything they have certain theory. But why I am discussing here is these are things which are required, which you might be know first, then we can able to design an experiment. So one among the factorial designs was Taguchi designs. So experiments are conducted at some combination levels. So here these Taguchi designs are also using orthogonal arrays for finding the maximum number of main effects in a minimum number of runs. If you see the strategy, okay, if you before the strategy role of experimental design, there we have discussed we need to have less number of experiments, that is satisfied with the Taguchi designs. Who is this Taguchi? We will discuss. Okay, so maximum number of main effects from minimum number of runs in an experiment, allowing the differences in the number of factor levels, is called as a Taguchi designs. So Taguchi philosophy. As I said, that who is this Taguchi? So he is one of the greatest scientists, statistician, engineer. We can term multiple cases. He changed totally the manufacturing industry in terms of quality, because he every time quotes that quality is measured as a total loss to the society caused by a product. So whatever the product where the society is going to be purchased, a society means a customer like you and like me is going to purchase a product. The product has to give the proper case of justification to that particular customer, as well as it should have a more life. That is what Taguchi philosophy. He is Dr. Genichi Taguchi. He is a Japanese and he is an electrical engineer. Later, by applying these kinds of quality related principles, he turned it into a statistician also. He worked with C.R. Rao, he worked with Fisher. Like that, they developed various kinds of further models also. So developed an approach involving statistical plan of experiments to reduce the variation. He has applied in 1950s and 60s later. So C.R. Rao or orthogonal analysis, even Lambert is also one of the person I did not include here. Actually the brain idea of orthogonal analysis is from the Lambert only, and Shewhart is also one of the scientists who has been crucial in these kinds of like a statistical analysis. So Ronald Fisher we will talk about in the ANOVA analysis. Okay, he is the person who has been introduced to the analysis of variance. So how we can how to predict which factor is going to influence our experiment. Fisher is the scientist. So for now we will talk about the Taguchi philosophy. So I am restricting only to Taguchi scientist. Okay. So what is the quality? So here when Taguchi comes means quality automatically comes. So if you talk about the historical perspective nature, after the World War II, Japan has been a severe crisis in shortage of raw material, as well as like a good raw material has not been there. Supply of high quality manufacturing equipment is also not available. Skilled engineers are also not available. And Japan was in a totally full crisis. At that time, the government has been decided to adopt some kind of a quality oriented aspects into the system. So there they find out one manager in ECL, Electrical Communications Laboratories of Nippon Telephone and Telegraph Company, called as Taguchi, and he implemented the robust design philosophy in the year 1960s. And this kind of philosophy has been applied in electrical industries, automotive products, photography industries, and many other industries. Some of the best examples we are seeing today's are Toyota products, Honda products, or Sony products. Okay, all this will have a good life of product. Even in the automotive side, if you talk about the Ford is also having a quality aspect like that. Okay, so he basically designed in such a way that a plan of experiments has to be done to obtain the determinable information about the various factors which are going to involved, and these persons are going to be play a crucial role in the making of decisions. So Fisher, as I have discussed at the ANAVA, because of that particular concept of analysis of variance, how the factors are going to affect each and everything, he combined this one with the Taguchi philosophy. So the main thing is to reduce economically the variation of the product functions in the customer's environment. Suppose I am a customer, I have purchased a product, an automobile I have purchased, so a car I have purchased. So I have purchased the product in such a way that I can do this automobile driving in muddy roads or in normal metal roads or on the highways, but the life of the product should be high. So that life is going to be depend upon the quality. So this quality has to get improved, so by reducing the economic burden onto the customers. So, and whatever the decisions taken in this particular process has to get optimal results, because once a product is reached to the customer side, it cannot, he has spent lot of money, that lot of money will be wasted if a quality product is not delivered to the customer. So statistical experimental design, they have termed it as a robust design. So robust means you can apply this particular case to any experimental methodology, it will give the better results, it will give the optimal level set of experiments. That is the major meaning of the robust. And basically we measure the quality of the product in terms of total loss to the society. Suppose if I am procuring a product, if the product is not working, it is simply say that it is a total loss to the society, as well as it is giving some kind of functional variations and side effects also. So these has to get overtake. So that is the meaning, exact meaning of quality, why the quality of the product has to get improved. And here the Taguchi has been framed two options called as quality loss function and quadratic loss function. So let me go with the diagram like this. See, take a simple example. For example, we are having a set of manufacturing of a products. Cursor, okay, cursor is there here. So suppose a manufacturing industry is going to manufacture some kind of a products, and it is getting some kind of a normal distribution like this. So for example, assume that here we are having a center deviation line. Okay, this is basically, we will try to term it as 0 center line. So my objective is to manufacture a piston ring, and the piston ring should have a diameter of around 50 mm. Okay, 50 mm is the exact diameter, but that much small it won't be there, but just for my example, 50 mm diameter. If I am manufacturing the product, definitely I will try to go for tolerances also, plus or minus. Like if the dimensions are having more than 49 plus or minus and more than 51, sorry, here it should be 51, more than 51, then the product can be acceptable. Let's say here and here, this is 49 positive side and this is negative side 51. The products which are lying in this particular range can be remanufactured again. We need to remanufacture these products. Is it or not? So this particular concept has been taken into picture, and Taguchi developed one quality loss function where this is going to be talk about the optimal case of selection, here m is the slope basically. So here the center point will tries to give the nominal value. If it is going to increase, larger the better. If it is going to this side, smaller the better. With three concepts like nominal the best, or larger the better, or smaller the better. So these concepts they have included to meet the tolerances and which are going to satisfy the customer, and it can able to affect the sales of the product also in the manufacturing area only basically. So because of that one, it is going to have a change. So this is talks about the quality loss function. You can refer many things. The quality loss function has a blended material available in the internet. Okay, I am just giving a glimpse here. And here, what are the noise factors? So performance of the product is measured in the terms of quality characteristics in the field due to the variety of causes. See, actually this Taguchi, who is an electrical engineer, he is working into an electrical. Any electrical form is going to be termed in terms of some kind of signal. If the signal is proper, okay. If the signal is not proper, it is a noise. That's all. So here also Taguchi has been taken three factors which is going to be considered some kind of a noise, because everywhere. Suppose if I try to procure a simple toy is not moving on the floor properly. What happens? There is some wear and tear between the floor to the wheels of the toy. Is it or not? So definitely some external variations will be there. Unit to unit variations will be there. Deterioration variations also will be there. So these things are going to be addressed. Let me take a simple example. Take a refrigerator. In the refrigerator, external variations will be getting from the, like if I am trying to operate this refrigerator in a home, closing the door, opening the door, closing the door, opening the door, every time definitely the efficiency of the products which is getting to the cool will be get decreased or not? Definitely it will have a decrease. Similarly, unit to unit variation. Some may be having 1 HP compressor, some may be having 2 HP compressor, some may be having volume low, some may be having volume high, like that. And the deterioration talks about the volume of uncontrollable things like power fluctuations. Sometimes we cannot able to control. So these are all the various kinds of noise effects which are going to affect the product. So with this thing, I will try to go with a generalized model of a system or process of a system. Any process will have some kind of input. Similarly, this process is going to be happen with the kind of some kind of controllable factors, like multiple number of controllable factors will be there. For example, if I take machining of a gear shaft, transmission will be there in an automobile. So I need to machine this particular gear shaft. Machining process. What will be the input here? Input will be basically power to the machine. Whatever the power, 1 HP, 2 HP, 3 HP power we are giving in terms of whether it may be kilowatts also, some power we have to give. That will be the input. And the factors, the controllable factors will be what kind of material which we are using for machining, whether it may be a steel, whether it may be a composite, whether it may be a alloy, aluminum alloy, like that, or whether it may be the machining process parameters also sometimes. For example, if I am going for the turning process, speed, feed, depth of cut is going to be influenced. Similarly, we will have uncontrollable factors also, that is noise factors. Sometimes we will try to term it as noise factors also. So these uncontrollable factors means, suppose I am taking a turning operation, I am trying to machine the part, the tool is having a continuous contact with the workpiece. Because of that one, tool is going to have a wear. That wear I cannot able to predict it. So that is called as a uncontrollable factor. So this uncontrollable factor is going to affect the process. Similarly, we will have some kind of an output. So output may be, let me term it as the size of the steel which we are going to be manufactured, the diameter of the steel, or the straightness of that particular shaft. Okay, because it's a transmission shaft, it should have a straightness. So these are all the things which are going to have it in a process. This is a generalized model. If you take any process, this is the thing. Input will be there, we will get some outputs, and before that one we will have some controllable factors and uncontrollable factors. This uncontrollable means some kind of noise factors, disturbing factors. Here our objective is to minimize the variation in the output, and whatever the process which we are trying to talk about, the control factors, the design should be robust and it should have a quality output. Obviously the most important thing is customer satisfaction. Customer has to get satisfied with that particular product. If he is not satisfying with the product, what happens? He don't purchase that product. He will try to give a feedback in such a way that the product is not good. Is it or not? So customer satisfaction is also more important. Low cost products. So how much amount of products which what they are producing has to get at low price. When low price is there, large number of people will purchase, more number of orders will be generated, more amount of economy will be generated. That is a simple management strategy which we know it from the standards onwards. Okay, so this is basically a generalized norm, and here now I will be discussing about what are the various kinds of terminology which are going to be used in the Taguchi methods and design of experiments. Of course, the first one is an input. I have discussed already. Process, application of any work, whether it may be manufacturing or whether it may be combustion of engine, anything. Output, the responses which we are talking about. These three are general. Next to factors. So factors means controllable process factors which are going to be varied every time. For example, if I have to switch the fan, what is the purpose of the fan? It has to give a cool breeze or some kind of a breezes inside the room. So here the controllable factors will be a regulator. Is it or not? If I go for 1 speed, 2 speed, 3 speed, depending upon the speed motion, the fan wings are going to be rotate at a faster rate. Is it or not? Sometimes if it is a very like in the case of rainy seasons or in case of monsoons, I don't require that much amount of high speed breezes. Is it or not? So it can be intentionally or unintentionally varied. It can be controllable or sometimes, because I have said the controllable example, if the regulator has been gone, then it is uncontrollable. Is it or not? Even sometimes we will have some measurable and unmeasurable also. Some things which we can able to measure. Vibrations, it is difficult for us to measure. Is it or not? Whereas if you take mileage is easy to measure. Is it or not? Like that. Next, the signal to noise ratio. So signal to noise ratio, noise factors we have discussed already. What is the meaning of this signal means? Taguchi, he is basically an electrical engineer. He has any form of an equipment to an electrical equipment, we will try to term in form of a signal. So he has coined that particular word and try to term that particular disturbance, that is uncontrollable factor, as a signal to noise ratio. This signal to noise ratio should be very close to 0. If it is 0, then our experiment will be best. If it is not 0, if it is varying in a positive or if it is varying in a negative direction, then it leads to large amount of problems. Next, treatments or levels. So treatments means, for example, if I am talking about I am trying to run this particular experiment at high levels, or I am trying to running this experiment at low levels. So this experiment talks about whether I am going to run this experiment at low level or whether I am trying to run at high level. For example, if I take a turning operation, machining operation, I am giving some speed to the shaft to rotate. For example, say it has 200 RPM. 200 RPM is one level, 300 RPM is another level, 400 RPM is one more level. So like that, the treatments or levels is the amount which we are trying to vary the factor. Interreactions, it's a combination, so contains 2 or more variables. So when 2 or more variables are there, what we will do? We will try to check the effect. Suppose if I am having some kind of a fever. So basically fever means what? I will take normal paracetamol tablet. But fever is there on simultaneously I am having headache also. So I have to take a combination of that particular thing. So that is a medicine which will be giving me a combination of a fever as well as headache to reduce. That is called as an interaction. The same thing will be there for our example also in real time applications also. Next, experimental runs. So experimental runs about how many number of experiments we are going to be conduct. So depending upon these experiments, how we are going to analyze our set of things. So after conducting these experiments, how many set, for example 10 experiments, 12 experiments, 14 experiments, 18 experiments, like that. Next one is experimental design. We have discussed a detailed slide in the experimental design. I think no need to discuss about clearly. And model. So models will be, there are two categories, quantitative model and qualitative model. So qualitative predictors are basically comes under the category of analysis of variance. Quantitative talks about some time of, quantitative means some variable is there, some value is there with me. So that value basically I have to express in terms of a function. So that is talking about the regression part. So regression analysis, what we will do is we will take some quantity, the data we will collect in terms of numericals. Based upon the numericals we generate some function. Covariance, this is one of the important thing. See, covariance means what? An uncontrollable quantitative variable that can be measured during the experiment. For example, temperature. See, temperature we cannot control. If I take a laser, like what, infrared gun and place it near the temperature measurement, definitely it will be fluctuating. It is not a controllable parameter because it depends upon the atmospheric surroundings, environment basically. Surroundings it is depending, because a small amount of cool breezes will try to deviate the temperature values. So that's why the temperature coefficient we have to make. So temperature is going to be vary every time. So that is continuous variables, or the most of the cases these also can be analyzed by using the regression models. So covariance also we have to take it in the, sometimes we will get this covariance also. Okay, at the time we will discuss in detail. And next one is randomization. See, why we have to go for the randomly conducting the experiments. For example, if I take in the turning process, cutting speed at one level, feed at one level, depth of cut on what level. In the next set of experiment, I will maintain the cutting speed at same level, depth of cut and feed will be varied. What happens here? No, because of cutting speed is continuously rotation, they will not be having any change in the orientation of the experiment, and it is directly affecting the response variable also. So that's why randomly we have to do, because each experiment we have to achieve that particular level and then we have to conduct the experiment. Replication. So replication talks about we have to conduct the experiment 2 or 3 times to check the accuracy or to check the variance of that experiment. So that is called as a replication. Repetition. Repetition is different from the replication. Replication means we have to conduct the same experiment with the same set of values in multiple number of times, and we will check the output also. It is going to affect the output also. Repetition means what? Means we will go for a trial run. We are not getting a proper results, means we will go for repeating the same kind of thing, and we will try to take only among these two kinds of experiments we will take only one. But in the replication we will try to mix the combination and we will go for finalizing the output. Blocking. See, blocking is also very similar to our randomization, because I have to maintain this particular levels. First level I have to take it in one particular block, second level I have to take it in one particular block, third level I have to take it in one particular block. It is called as a nuisance variable. So each block will have a single level. Correspondingly, it is going to affect the output response. That is why blocking is required. I will show the blocks also sometimes in some kind of L18 or L18. You can see that kind of a blocks and all. Okay. And next one is confounding. So if two variables are having the same levels, what happens? We will get some variation in the experiment. So this part should get avoided. So basically, confounding we maximum case we will try to reduce the confounding. We will check in an experiment in such a way that the confounding should not be take place. Next, orthogonal arrays. So orthogonal arrays, it is mutually perpendicular. Simple case is mutual arrays. Mutual arrays. I will discuss about more detail in the next slide. Orthogonal arrays. So what are the steps in the Taguchi experimental design? Or steps or phases, whatever it may be. Because experimental design we have discussed, but Taguchi experimental design, what are the phases? The first step is we have to plan the experiments. So sitting in a group or sitting with some kind of textbooks or some kind of literature which is available with us, we have to plan the experiments. Second step is design the experiments. So which kind of layout should be there? Whether it may be from factorial, or whether it may be a completely randomized, or it may be from Taguchi design, or it may be from some kind of response surface, whatever the design, we have to plan the design. And the third step is conduct the experiments. After designing the experiments, we will get some layout. Based upon that one, we are going to conduct the experiments. After conducting the experiments, we are going for analyzing the results. So what are the results? How the experiments we have conducted, whether it is satisfying or not. Then at the fifth step, we have to confirm and predict the results. So after analyzing, we will get some kind of outputs. So based upon the output, we have to get some kind of confirmation, or if we have predicted something, so whether the prediction is correct or not, we have to go for confirmation. So this is the 5 phases of the Taguchi experimental design. If you see any research paper, any research paper will consisting of these steps. I will show in step by step. Orthogonal arrays. So it's a simple set of matrix of experiments, a group of experiments, a set of experiments, a group will be there. So basically it is going to be look like this. So here you can see table L8 orthogonal array, and you can observe here the uniqueness is here you can able to see 4 levels, 4 set of experiments, and here you can see 4 set of experiments, and this is talking about level 1, level 2, level this experiment 1 is conducting at level 1, experiment 2 is conducting at level 1, like that. So this will be unique. So 4 levels, 4 levels. Similarly here also 2 times 1, 2 times 1, that is totally 4. Again 2 times 2, 2 times 2, totally 4. So equally spaced of spacement of things will be there. Here the number of rows represent the number of experiments which we need to be conducted. This one, 8 experiments we need to conduct. 8 talks about 8 experiments. Column represents the number of factors, that is A factor, B factor, C factor, like that column represent. As well as here we will have some kinds of interactions also, like A multiplied by B, like that. Interaction, combination effects, cutting speed and feed, both the things we have to vary at the same level, like that. And what is the meaning of L here? L is nothing but Latin square, where A number represents number of rows, B represents number of levels, C represents number of columns, that is factors. And degrees of freedom talks about levels minus 1. Suppose here I am having 2 levels, degrees of freedom will be 2 minus 1, that is 1 level. Okay, and 1 and 2 in the matrix indicates here, 1 and 2 in the matrix here. These are nothing but low level, high level. 1 is low level, 2 is high level. Next, some standard orthogonal arrays are available, like L4 orthogonal array 2 power 3, L8 orthogonal array 2 power 7, L16 orthogonal array 2 power 15. Means Taguchi has developed a theory behind this one to get that set of experiments at this particular number of sets only. If I am having two levels, 15 factors, this will be the set, like that, 32 experiments. L9, 3 levels, 4 factors, 3 levels, 13 factors, 27 experiments. If I take this combination 3 power 4, how much? 81 experiments I have to conduct. So that Taguchi has reduced into 9, where 3 talks about levels, here 2 talks about levels, 4 talks about levels, and here the top like subset index, it is going to be represented as the factors, 3 power 40 factors. So 3 power 40 factors means it will be around 1000 experiments. No, don't conduct 1000. You conduct 81 experiments of this orthogonal array. Then you will get. Then how I will get this orthogonal array? That is the thing. Here, if you can see, I have taken very from the latest general. Here, this is from vapor compression engine case. Compression ratio is there, load is there, blend of percentage blend of fuels is there. These they have taken at 4 levels. Compression ratio at 4 levels: 15, 16, 17, and 8. Compression ratio of an engine. The load which is applying on the engine is 4%, 6%, 8%, and 10%, 10 kgs. Percentage of the fuel which they are going to blend it is having the percentage of blends as 10%, 20%. And Taguchi will give an array like this: L16 orthogonal array. L16. See, compression ratio at 4 levels. Again 4 levels. Again 4 levels. Again 4 levels. The 4 is unique in this particular column, is it or not? That is the beauty of Taguchi orthogonal array. Similarly, load also you can see 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 is at 4 times. Similarly, you can take 10 also. Level 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the orthogonal array which they have formulated. Now with this particular thing, 16 experiments if you have conducted, then you might be know. But in general, what happens? No, you need to get 4 power 3. 4 power 3 means totally how many experiments you have to do? 64 experiments. Instead of that one, Taguchi is saying that you conduct only 16 experiments. You will get the optimal designs. You will get the optimal designs. So that is the beauty with the Taguchi orthogonal arrays. Okay. So this is the basic understanding behind the Taguchi. Thank you.